It's another day. It is, in fact, Saturday.
What day number is this? What number day is this?
Like 285 or 6. It's a great question. I'm going to look. 281, 2, 3, 4, 5, 285. And the 300th day is actually going to fall on January 31. So we're going to have some form of 300-day party on the 31st.
This is my number 7. I looked.
Really? That's very exciting. I like that. All right, so here we go. Hello, everybody out there on Facebook Live. Thanks. I'm glad you're with us today, and we are opening doors.
Aren't we ever?
Here comes the popcorn. Hello, everybody. Hello, how are you? Aaron, if you would co-host Julia, that would be great. Hello, everybody. Hello and happy Saturday. Welcome to the 285th day of the Daily Antidote of Song. Thanks to David Roth for making me count it, because otherwise I would have said my same old 280-ish. I'm really, really glad you're all here to celebrate 285 days of being in this room singing together. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Happy January. Let's find those happinesses anywhere we can in the strange start to this new year. Stay away from the news, or just like go once a day if you have to. Hello and welcome to everybody out there on Facebook Live, and to everybody in this room. Hello, Arlene in California. Great to see you. Sheila in Florida. Hello, Deborah in Kentucky. Lisa in Indiana. Sarah in Texas. Karen in Arizona. Well, I love it when there's like 6 different states in a row. That's really fun. Busy Graham in Maryland. Deli in DC. Julia in Maryland. Julia, you're the first one to blow it for us. You're my double Maryland, and I'm just teasing. Julia is helping with the tech today. Let's all wave hi to Julia, and also hi to Aaron. Thank you also for help on the tech. Hello, Kathleen in Albuquerque. Martha in Oregon. Janet in Georgia. Look, we're on another run right now. Jenny in Victoria. Kevin in New Hampshire. Oh, hello, Dan in Virginia. Max also in New Hampshire. 2 New Hampshires right next to each other. Carolyn in Idaho. Anne in New York. Hello. And Lynn in Connecticut. Hello. Jane in the UK. Steve in Baltimore. Hello, Trish. How are you? Nice to see you. I always forget where you are. Maybe you can remind me. Greg Lewis coming out of DC. Hello, nice. How are you? Maryland. Right. I knew that. Let's see who else is here. Susan in Ohio. Dennis in Victoria. Anne in the DMV area. Kathy in Virginia. Bonnie in Idaho with flowers behind her. Gay, hello. Nice to see you today. Hello, Nancy in Vermont. Great to have you. Annette in California. Hello. And Becky, Sid, Sandy, hello, coming in from Maryland. And Becky and Sid are Vancouver and Victoria. Bill, also Victoria, hello. Nice to see you. And to folks off video, Gary and Joni and Sue and Adrian, Harriet, who's coming in from Chicago, Beryl, also Chicago, Margaret and Kat and Gwen and Fred. Hello to all of you. And if I missed calling you by name, I'm very sorry. And I hope I'll get to say goodbye to you on the goodbye end of things today. Welcome again to everybody out there on Facebook Live. Welcome to the Washington Rebels Carpe Diem Arts. Goodness gracious, 285 days. You think I'd know how to say it by now. The Washington Rebels Carpe Diem Arts Daily Antidote of Song, where we meet here in this room every day at noon Eastern to sing a song together, have a little bit of discussion, find some joy, see some smiles, wave to each other, and build some community in whatever ways we can during this strange time. Some notes, the lyrics will be in the chat, the donate link in the chat. As always, the money that comes in from donations goes straight to the artists. My email in the chat if you'd like to be on our email list. And again, a thank you to Julia and Aaron who are here running the tech today. Thank you and thank you. So today's fabulous artist, Mr. David Roth. I can also use another number since I'm so good with numbers. David is here for his 7th time in this room with us today, which I also know because he told me, because if he didn't tell me numbers, I would of course mix them up. So David, we are so glad you're here today, and also super glad to have a song that you're bringing us that is a perfect combination of hope and joy and a little bit of just airiness, some other ways of trying to just find a little smile and a little hope in the journey of this month. So thank you for being here. Everybody, let's welcome David Roth.
Great to see you all, and thanks again for the gracious invite, Joe. You know, I wrote this song probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, around the time of the election results when they were official, the first time they were official. So this does not reflect, what happened a week ago Wednesday necessarily. So I just want y'all to know that I checked with Joe prior to today saying, hey, do you want me to switch gears? And she said, no, I think we need a little breath. I think we need a little break. And without going into long stories, we're just utterly flabbergasted at what we're seeing in our country with our fellow citizens, of our country. So we're going to go into something somewhat whimsy. Now, you could take this song either as a straight sing-along. At some point, I'm sure the words will appear in the chat, or you could consider it a call and response song. Not a long song. It's rather snappy, if I don't mind saying. And I'll sing it through one time. It doesn't take that much time, but it goes something like this. He's a regular Joe in an irregular time. And isn't it time for a new paradigm? People say what they say. People go where they go. But at the end of the day, he's still a regular Joe. He's a regular guy in an irregular game. Maybe just what we need instead of more of the same. People think what they think. People know what they know. But at the end of the day, he's still a regular Joe. Our differences are understood, but regular sounds really good. Just a regular Joe, a lot like me and you. Time to take a deep breath. After all we've been through, opportunity knocks, and this I know, I could use a big cup of regular Joe, a really big cup of regular Joe. So, pretty straightforward. You pick up on the melody, and there's an opportunity to come knocking. I've tried many different ways. There's 2 knocks, opportunity knocks. That's the easiest one. Or there's the triplet, opportunity knocks. Or the more syncopated one, opportunity knocks. And this, that. Have a party. You're on mute. Break out those rhythm skills. I will tell you that as a singer-songwriter, rhythm and I have long since parted ways, but I do the best that I can, So you want to just keep plowing forth, Joe, or do you? All right, so you ready to try this one time? Like I said, it could be call and response, like he's a regular Joe, he's a regular Joe, in a regular time, on a regular time. I'm going to kind of split the difference between singing the callback and leaving space for it, so that you still have the feeling like you're singing with somebody, in case you're nervous about hearing yourself sing by yourself. But you guys aren't. You guys are better at this than I am at this point. All right, ready? Here goes something. He's a regular Joe in an irregular time. And isn't it time for a new paradigm? People say what they say. People go where they go. But at the end of the day, left that one for you. He's a regular guy in an irregular game. Maybe just what we need instead of more of the same. People think what they think. People know what they know. But at the end of the day, he's still a regular Joe. Our differences are understood, but regular sounds really good. Guitar solo. Here comes that bridge. Our differences. Our differences are understood, but regular sounds really good. Just a regular Joe, a lot like me and you. Time to take a deep breath. After all we've been through, opportunity knocks, and this I know, I could use a big cup of regular Joe, really big cup, a really big cup of regular Joe.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, David Roth. Your opportunity knocks gave me an excuse to pull out my Washington Rebels tambourine and make opportunity knock sounds. And you have cheered me up complete with ribbons. How could it get any more cheerful than that? So singing a lighthearted, happy song in which it actually reminds us to take a deep breath, I would say was just about as perfect as it could get. Thank you endlessly, and I'm so glad that you already offered to sing the whole thing through at the end, because I'm in for that. So yes, it's been strange times, gang. We have been seeing strange times, and actually, as lots of you know, I'm going back and forth between the Hill and Tacoma Park, and I'm going to be on the Hill for inauguration, and heard from my folks down there that it's fenced off in ways that are unfathomable looking for our country. And it's sad, right? Like when we are on the Hill, we walk on the Mall and we go look at the beauty of the Capitol and we walk the blocks around, and it's sad and it's hard, and it's also a really, really stark reminder. See, this is me killing all the joy that we just had. Sorry, gang. It's a really stark reminder of maybe the things we missed over the previous years and the things we need to pay attention to in the upcoming years. And part of that, now I'm going to spin it back to the happiness now, part of that actually is remembering to take the breaths and remembering to find the places where we can come for our own joy and our own strength. We are going to be useless if we let the grief overcome us, or the desperation or the difficulties or the despair. And in fact, it's hard times not to feel that stuff, right? I mean, we're about to enter into pandemic part, whatever we want to even call this. And, you know, there's new strains. There may be more, they may be more contagious. It's going to be a rough road for the next couple months. And so the solution to that is clearly to just have David Roth show up every day and sing us Regular Joe and shake our tambourines. So thank you, David. So before we actually start chatting about more mundane stuff, can you tell me a little bit about how you've been doing this past week?
Boy, it's been a very mixed week for me without going into long, drawn-out stories. You know, my elderly mom out in Los Angeles, and we're on Cape Cod, has really taken a turn, you know, so we've been scrambling, my sister and I, from the East Coast to get her 24-hour care till for a few more days when I hope to fly out there after Election Day. And the other contrast to that is all the unsafety we feel and how on edge we feel with travel and moving around and not hunkering down with all this civil unrest, you know, staring us right in the face too. So I have not lost sight of the fact that tomorrow is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Sunday. And I've been looking at my Dr. King quotes, and he says so many great things about what's going on. One of his quotes is, "A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus." And from what I can see, Joe Biden is looking to mold what's going to happen in the near future rather than have it, you know, serve him. So that's great. And Dr. King also says, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. So much wisdom in his writing. So and Joe said I could mention this and actually asked me to. Tomorrow morning, I'll be doing a whole service for a church in Rhode Island at 10 o'clock Eastern time. It's a sermon. It's called a sermon and song, and I've been doing these for a few years at Unitarian churches, New Thought churches, churches of various denominations. And tomorrow's sermon and song for a place called the Concordia Center for Spiritual Living in Warwick is called "We Have a Dream." And I'll be singing songs of mine that were inspired by Dr. King, and other songs about civil rights, the goodness that people exhibit to one another, the people I call the ordinary people who do extraordinary things that don't get all these headlines or get on the screens as much. So it'll be a morning of celebrating Dr. King, looking at some amazing musical stories of incredible people. And once again, like you've done so beautifully here for 285 days, creating community, in the most strangest of circumstances. It still blows my mind how much a community this feels like to me, what you've created with all the help of all the people that work with you.
Thank you, David. So I think we have in the chat the link to join you tomorrow. Thank you, Aaron, for that. And yeah, so, in addition to all of the things going on in sort of the greater world, there's also the things that are going on in our own personal lives. And the fact of this community, I will say, does sustain a lot of us, myself included. I get emails from folks about how it's helping them through their personal illnesses or their family illnesses, and our own journeys with feeling sad and blue, and knowing that we can come in here and see all these smiles and all these welcoming, warm faces who are all communicating to us the same thing, which is we want to figure out how to make it better. And so that's why we're here in many part. I will say that the past couple of days have been a really beautiful reminder of community. Many of you who were in here know that I announced that Nicola's mom, who had COVID, fell very, very ill, and she in fact did not make it. And so Nicola did lose her mom, I think yesterday. All of the folks in this room who popped notes to her in the chat, I forwarded them to her and got an email back from her about how much it meant to read those notes that all of us wrote. If you can even imagine that the names of all of these people who she's never met actually was one of the things that helped pull her through. So I thank all of you for that. The ways in which we're loving on each other is so important right now. So a couple of just quick announcements. We have been talking, of course, about having an Antidote film discussion, a beautiful movie that if you haven't seen yet, it's a really great time to watch it. And if you have seen it, you can watch it again. So hope-filled, so inspiring, a really great balance between looking out at the world and remembering what's wrong and then seeing ways in which people are working to make it right. In light of everything that's been going on, I've decided to put that into the next month or the one after. And instead, I'm going to invite all of the folks in this room to join myself and members of the Carpe Diem team, members of the Washington Rebels team at the Constructive White Conversations Baltimore meeting with Dan Zanes on Wednesday, the 27th. There's another number for me. So I'll put that into the email for tomorrow and hope that many of you can join us there. It will be a different kind of conversation than the Antidote film conversation, but a much needed one. And I hope you'll all be patient on the Antidote film discussion. And then on a lighter note, our 300th day, as I mentioned yesterday, is actually January 31. And for a girl who doesn't like numbers, I got to say, I really love the fact that like our 300th day is landing on a nice, neat end of a month kind of a number. That happens to also be the date of the Washington Rebels January pub sing. So that night we're going to be gathering with beers or tonic water or whatever we drink and singing songs in the evening. So while we'll have a very big celebration in here on the 31st for our 300th day, I'm going to invite all of you to also join that night for additional 300th day celebration in the form of a pub sing. And lots of you I know were in our October pub sing, and it was a load of fun, and hope I can see a lot of your faces on the 31st as well. So there's a lot of stuff in the chat, which I will look at while we are singing our way out of the room. And David, if you have a few minutes, maybe we can take a few hands after we say goodbye to Facebook. And thank you very much for singing us again out of the room.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I'll also quickly mention, while people are still in this broadest audience, that someone Leah Morris, I've just added her to my staff of my music weekend. And in February, it's called Cyber Songs, formerly known as Summer Songs. A songwriting camp that we've held for 23 years. I'm the executive director and have had many great teachers like Reggie and just right on down the list. We've got Cozy Sheridan and a whole bunch of great people coming. And Leah is going to lead the Sunday morning sing-along hour all by herself on Sunday, February 21st. You can't just go for that, and you need to sign up for the whole thing. But I'll put that link in the chat before we revisit Regular Joe. And when I say songwriting weekend, it's all levels. Anyone's invited. It's $100 for a household for the whole weekend, and you'll see some of the most amazing artists and learn things you didn't maybe thought you couldn't learn. So we're really happy to have Leah, who just agreed yesterday, join us with her great sing-along teaching skills. Now, it's early in the morning, kind of. I'm out of the low note range. I've taken this up to the key of A for anybody playing along. I've gone up 2 half steps more mercifully for me than anybody else. I see someone going, no, it was fine where it was. Well, here goes something. 1, 2, 3. He's a regular Joe in an irregular time. And isn't it time for a new paradigm? People say what they say, people go where they go, but at the end of the day, he's still a regular Joe. He's a regular guy in an irregular game. An irregular game, maybe it's just what we need, instead of more the same. People think what they think, people know what they know, but at the end of the day, he's still a regular Joe. Our differences are understood, but regular sounds really good. Just a regular Joe, a lot like me and you. Time to take a deep breath. After all we've been through, opportunity knocks, and this I know, I could use a big cup of regular Joe. Opportunity knocks, and this I know, I could use a big cup of regular Joe. A really big cup of regular Joe.
Thank you, David. That was just perfect. So much fun to sing with you today. And I want to thank everybody out there on Facebook Live for joining us today. We are going to stick in the room for just a little bit of discussion time. If you are interested in joining us in the room, you can go to revelsdc.org/ no idea which direction the slash is supposed to go, daily-song. So if you want to join us in here, you're welcome. We'll still be admitting people. Thanks again, and we hope to sing with you again tomorrow.